Part 32. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 311. Boom. A gray light shot out from Lu He's eyes, directly shattering Fan Xingchen's meteorite. Then, Fan Xingchen launched countless meteorites to stop the chaotic light. Although both of them are Saint Venerables, Fan Xingchen is only Saint Venerable Great Success, while Lu He is Saint Venerable Peak, and is infinitely close to the half-step God King. Seeing this, Fan Xingchen's eyes condensed. He didn't expect Lu He to practice the Chaos Pupil technique to such a level. It is said that if the Chaos Pupil is practiced to great success, one glance can make this world return to the chaotic state. Fan Xingchen, do you see the gap between us? 2 years ago, you were defeated by me, and you will always be in the future. Lu He walked slowly in front of Fan Xingchen in the chaos and said slowly. Stop farting. Star River map. Star River flows. Fan Xingchen's face sank and he shouted angrily. Then, the whole body continued to emit divine light, and the miniature version of the endless galaxy continued to surround Fan Xingchen, as if he was the master of the endless galaxy. Fan Xingchen kept making seals with his hands, and a small galaxy world appeared in Fan Xingchen's hands. In this small world, there were endless stars, which continued to emit brilliant light, and then directly smashed towards Lu He. Heh, a trivial trick. 6 steps of chaos. Lu He said disdainfully, and then waves of chaos power were continuously infused into Lu He's legs. A slow road of chaos, of course, is naturally countless times weaker than the real road of chaos. Then, Lu He's momentum continued to rise, as if he was already a half-step God King. Originally, I was going to deal with others, so I'll experiment with you first. Lu He stepped heavily on the road of chaos with his first step, and in an instant, an incomparably terrifying power swept in all directions. Even Kanglin and others who were still fighting were affected, and Ruhua and Xiongda gushed out a mouthful of blood. Every time Lu He took a step forward, countless stars in Fan Xingchen's galaxy world turned into dust. When the last step was taken, Fan Xingchen gushed out a mouthful of blood, and the galaxy world turned directly into nothingness, and the original galaxy illusion gradually disappeared. Damn it, if my Star Saint body can go further, I can definitely resist it. Fan Xingchen touched the blood at the corner of his mouth and said desperately. This guy is so fierce. Of course, after all, this is the Chaos Pupil technique, which comes with the original Chaos power. Kanglin said with a gloomy face. He didn't expect that Lu He would be so powerful, which was completely beyond her expectations. I'm afraid that even if she tried her best, she couldn't stop him. Haha, Fan Xingchen, this is the difference between you and me. Today, you will all die in this small world. Chaos Sky Curtain, use my Chaos Pupil to summon the phantom of chaos creatures. Lu He roared, and an extremely huge Chaos Sky Curtain appeared from the edge of the sky, covering the entire sky. Even in the distance, there were disciples from other holy places who saw this strange scene. What is this? It feels so scary, as if it is going to swallow me up. Chaos Sky Curtain, this is Lu He's trick. It's worthy of being Chaos Pupil, it's really terrifying. I don't know, it's the people from that holy place who are in trouble. Forget it, it's none of our business, let's go kill the monsters. At this moment, Kanglin and others stopped fighting because this breath was too terrifying. If it weren't for our imperial technique, which can only be used once a month, I must kill them. Xiongda said with his eyes wide open and roaring. It's useless. I guess even if we use the Emperor technique, we can't stop it. The gap in strength is too big. If we are saints, we can use the Emperor technique to defeat Lu He, Ruhua said slowly. Even though she can reach the level of God King after using the Emperor technique, she still can't beat Lu He. A moment later, from the chaotic sky, an extremely huge creature slowly appeared in front of everyone. In an instant, the oppressive force made Kanglan and the other two pale. This is a primitive chaotic creature. They are just Saint Kings and can't resist this pressure at all. Damn it, we can't just sit there and wait for death, Fan Xin Chen said with a gloomy face. Kanglan also decided to use the Emperor technique at this moment and fight to the death. Daofixian technique, Kanglan shouted angrily. In an instant, hundreds of superior roads slowly appeared in front of everyone, and golden flowers of the road grew on the road. Damn, Kanglan, you really mastered the Emperor technique, I thought they were joking, Fan Xin Chen said in a daze. The rest of the saints were the same. Don't be stunned, I will assist you. Kanglan shouted angrily, and in an instant, these hundreds of golden flowers of the avenue slowly sank into the bodies of the people in the Purple Forest Holy Land. In an instant, they felt that their current understanding of the avenue had reached a new level. After a moment, Fan Xin Chen and others also reacted and directly used their strongest moves. Star Body. Endless Stars Fall. Galaxy World. Four Saints Techniques. The Way of Prison Suppression, the Fist of Prison Suppression. 9 Turns of Ling Long Light. The Avenue of Destruction, the Sword of Destruction. One after another extremely terrifying moves rushed directly towards the phantom of the chaotic creature. Humph, you are stubbornly resisting. And Yang Fan and others were not idle either, they also used their own tricks. However, now Yang Fan and the others are no match for Kanglan and others, and their killing moves have been resolved one after another. At this time, the chaotic creature slowly opened its eyes and punched out. Boom! A terrifying explosion scene appeared in this small world. Dust was flying, the earth was cracked, and the sacred mountain collapsed. It doesn't look like a battle between saints at all, but more like a battle between divine kings. Fan Xin Chen, Kanglan, and others spurted out a mouthful of blood again, their faces were extremely pale, and countless bones were broken in their bodies. On the other hand, the shadow of the chaotic creature only lost one arm. At this moment, in the outside world, Nalan Yan's face was full of worry. Ha ha ha, Nalan Yan, your disciple, you people from the Purple Forest Holy Land, are going to die soon. If you hand over the 3 imperial arts, I can ask Lu He to spare their lives. Xuanhuan said jokingly. You are dreaming. Nalanyan said firmly. It's stubborn. In this case, we can only search. Xuanhuan said slowly, as if he had given a death order directly. Although Yao Yu and others were extremely anxious, there was no way out, because the 5 holy places had signed an agreement that no 2 forces were allowed to join forces during the competition, otherwise they would be directly disqualified. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 312. Then, Nalan Yan suddenly thought that the young master was still in the secret realm, and then a smile appeared on her face. Yan'er, after all this time, why are you still smiling? Yao Yu said extremely anxiously. Okay, don't worry, Kanglan and the others will be fine. After all, the young master is still in the secret realm. Nalan Yan said extremely calmly. Again, master. Yan'er, who is this young master? Yes, Yan'er, who is this young master that makes you admire him so much? Ling Jun and others are also extremely curious. Haven't you already seen it? Nalan Yan showed a mysterious smile. Seen? When have we met? Why didn't I know? Wait a minute, Yan'er, are you talking about the boy in white? Ling Jun suddenly reacted and said. Is that the young man who is following Han Shui? Well, you guessed it right, that is the young master I call you. Nalan Yan nodded and said. Yan'er, I remember you said you wanted to introduce a big shot to us, shouldn't you? Jianfeng glanced at Nalan Yan. That's right, it's the young master. Yan'er, what is the origin of this young master? I observed it at the time. Although he is a saint, I can't see through it. Ling Jun asked with great confusion. The imperial skills of Kanglan and the others were given by young master. Then, Nalan Yan told a shocking truth. Upon hearing these words, the three of them were stunned for a moment, as if they had heard the most incredible words. After a long time, the three of them came to their senses. Holy shit! Yan'er, are you telling the truth? This young master, is he a great emperor? The three people asked in horror. Why am I lying to you? As for the realm of the young master, I don't know, but I can be sure that the young master is much better than the emperor. Yan'er, how did you know? Because. Immediately, Nalan Yan whispered a few words in the ears of several people, and the three of them were instantly petrified. They were all in the quasi-emperor realm, and their minds were naturally extremely strong. Even so, their minds were still shocked by Nalan Yan's words. Shock? More than a dozen, mythical imperial arts, this is simply unbelievable. Yan'er, you have met a big boss. Damn, I'm so jealous. Immediately, Yao Yu's dark eyes turned, and she immediately took Nalan Yan's arm and said delicately. Yan'er sister. Hey, what are you doing? You are so disgusting. If you have anything to say, please tell me immediately. Listening to Yao Yu's disgusting words, Nalan Yan couldn't help but get goosebumps all over her body. Hee, I would like to ask if this young master is married or has a wife. Yao Yu's eyes were filled with a look of nymphomaniacs. She had no choice but to look at him. He was so handsome and his strength was so mysterious. His ability to send emperors and even mythical emperors was just like cabbage. It was hard not to love him. So why not let her be a thief? You want young cows to eat old grass? Nalan Yan said suspiciously. How can we cultivators care about age? I advise you to give up on this idea. Why? Yao Yu said hurriedly, and then seemed to think of something. Hey, Yan'er, you don't, like the young master, do you? After saying that, Yao Yu's face was directly in front of Nalan Yan's eyes. To Ling Jun and Xuanhuan, it looked more like the two of them were making love face to face. Beauty posts and stuff, so wonderful. You, don't talk nonsense, I didn't. Nalan Yan was immediately confused. Then why are you blushing? It's hot. You're miserable, you're in love. Yao Yu said with a smile. After finishing speaking, he whispered in Nalan Yan's ear. Yan'er, I don't mind, I can be the little one. Suddenly, Nalan Yan's eyes widened, she suppressed a blush and uttered a few words. You, shameless. Ling Jun and Xuanhuan on the side couldn't stand it anymore and said. Okay, Yayu, stop teasing Yan'er. It's not like you don't know that she has been thin-skinned since she was a child. That's right, if you have the guts, you tease me and see how I fight back. Huh, you're dreaming, you're so ugly. Yao Yu snorted, looked at Xuanhuan and said. Yan'er, if that's the case, tell me why you gave up on me. Immediately, Yao Yu said slowly. After hearing this, Nalan Yan straightened her expression and said slowly. Do you know the Daijun clan? Of course we know about the Emperor Jun clan, they are the first imperial clan under the spiritual clan. What does this have to do with the Daijun clan? The three people asked with great confusion. At that time, when I returned to my family, I met the Emperor's son from the Daijun clan. Holy crap, it's really fake. Why did the Emperor's son of the Daijun clan appear in the lower world? Yan'er, how awesome is this Emperor? Haha, it's not just awesome. It not only has the blood of the great Emperor, but also has a powerful body. The most outrageous thing is that he has 2 immortal bones. Nalan Yan sighed and said that there are always some evildoers in the world that make them feel desperate. 2 immortal bones. Against the heavens, what kind of talent is this? What happened later, what happened later? Later, the young master killed him, and also went to the Daijun clan. I don't know what he did. I just know that he came back safe and sound. Now, do you still think you are worthy of the young master? After Nalanyan finished speaking, she glanced at Yao Yu. After listening to Nalanyan's words, several people took a breath of cold air. It was impossible to describe their current mood in words. Anyone could understand the meaning of these words. Too terrible. I don't deserve it. Yao Yu said, shaking her head frantically. Yan'er, are you really going to introduce us to the young master? I'm a little scared. Yeah, facing such a big guy, no one would not be scared. Don't worry, the young master has a good temper, and he is very happy to show off, especially likes to see your inexperienced look. Nalanyan said with a smile. I'll take it as you're praising us. At this moment, in the small world, Lu He looked at the miserable state of Fan Xin Chen and others, and couldn't help but sneered. He, now, do you think you can still fight me? I said, you are just a group of ants, even if you have the Emperor's art, so what, some things can't be equalized by relying on the Emperor's art. Yang Fan and others are also constantly flattering. Lu He Saint's son, awesome. In this era, there is definitely a saint's son's destiny. The throne must have a saint's son. Hearing this, Fan Xin Chen and others did not speak, but just gritted their teeth. There was no way, the other party was telling the truth. After all, their realm is still too weak. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 313. In that case, let me send you to Xuanhuan Road. Don't worry, I will make good use of the imperial arts of the three of you. The Avenue of Thunder, heavenly thunder comes to the world. After finishing speaking, Lu He commanded the phantoms of the chaotic creatures and punched Fan Xin Chen and others again. The chaotic dust rolled, and thousands of chaotic divine thunders seemed to completely annihilate this world. Originally, the Avenue of Thunder was only a superior avenue, but because of the eyes of chaos, Lu He understood a ray of the Avenue of Chaos and transformed into the god of Chaos Thunder. This time, Lu He can be said to have exerted all his power, and he is bound to kill Kang Lan and others with one punch. At this moment, a cold voice slowly came out from the sky. Humph, anyone who dares to bully our purple forest holy land is seeking death. Then, only a flash of divine light was seen, directly obliterating this chaotic creature. Not only that, but even the chaotic sky curtain summoned by Lu He also turned into nothingness. Who? When Lu He saw this, his eyes narrowed and he shouted coldly at the sky. What do you want from your aunt? Later, Han Shui, Emperor Shishan and Da Shichun slowly appeared in front of Kanglan and others. Senior Sister Han Shui. Han Shui. Saint Han Shui. When Fan Xin Chen, Kang Lan, and others saw Han Shui, they immediately shouted with great excitement. Holy shit, Emperor Shaktian. Only Xiongda said in shock when he saw Emperor Shishan. Hiss, it is indeed Emperor Shishan, why is he next to Saint Han Shui? Did the two of them meet by chance? No, who is that big fool next to Saint Han Shui? After reacting, everyone in the Purple Forest Holy Land said with great confusion. When Lu He saw the Empress of Heaven again, his eyes narrowed. He didn't expect that Empress of Heaven would appear here. Shishan, why are you here? Lu He's voice was obviously much softer than before. On the other hand, Emperor Shishan paid no attention to Lu He. He just glanced at him lightly and said slowly. Chaos I technique, and also mastered a forbidden avenue, the Avenue of Chaos. The talent is okay, but the understanding is too poor. This eye of chaos is really wasted in your hands. Emperor Shishan's words were full of contempt, as if he was looking at an ant. Emperor Shukti. When Lu He heard this, he said extremely viciously, "Brother, kill them." Han Shui said impatiently, "No problem, sister, just take a look." After Emperor Shishan finished speaking, before Yang Fan and others could react, he swung out a sword, and the sword light shone for 9 days. Wherever it passed, lotus flowers slowly appeared. In an instant, Yang Fan and others all turned into nothingness. To be precise, they became the nourishment of Balian, leaving only Lu He who was still in a daze. After reacting, Lu He roared in horror. "Shishan, what do you mean? You don't know, our 5 holy lands have signed an agreement not to allow alliances. So what, this kind of agreement is useful to you, but to me, it is just useless paper. Besides, I am no longer the holy son of Xuanhuan Holy Land. What's the meaning? You betrayed Xuanhuan Holy Land." Hearing these words, Lu He had a confused look on his face. 10,000 steps back, I, Emperor Shishan, have traveled across all realms for countless years. When will it be your turn to teach me a lesson like an ant? Noisy. After finishing speaking, Emperor Shishan waved his hand lightly. In an instant, the world changed, and tiny white lotuses clung to Lu He's body like maggots attached to bones. These white lotuses are none other than White Lotus Karma Fire, the fire of Buddhism, which burns sin karma and purifies sin. Ah! It hurts. Lu He screamed at the top of his lungs, but no matter what tricks he used, he couldn't resist it. There was an essential difference between him and Emperor Shishan. Just when he was about to crush the teleportation talisman, he suddenly discovered that his teleportation talisman had lost its function. It was obviously the Emperor Shaktian who was responsible. "Let me go. / I was wrong, let me go. I don't want to die, I haven't become an emperor yet." Lu He kept begging, but no one listened. Soon, Liu He was gradually burned to ashes with despair and unwillingness. At this moment, when Xiao Huo saw the scene in the outside world, his eyes were about to burst and he roared. "Willow River." Lu He was the most talented disciple of their heavenly fire holy son, but now he has died. Xuanhuan Holy Land. You broke the agreement. Xiao Huo's blood-red eyes were full of killing intent. You have also heard about breaking the agreement. Emperor Shishan is not from our Xuanhuan Holy Land, so why should we break it? Ling Jun said with a sneer. You, just wait. I'll go back and report it right away. Xiao Huo disappeared into the void without any hesitation, leaving everyone in the heavenly fire holy land with bewildered faces at a loss. With the Holy Lord gone, what's the use of them staying here, not to mention that their most evil holy son is dead, and they vaguely feel that a war is about to happen. Afterwards, they immediately left Xuanhuan Holy Land. What exactly happened? Why did Emperor Shishan help Purple Forest Holy Land, and also said that he was not a disciple of Purple Forest Holy Land? The devil knows. No, didn't you hear what Emperor Shishan said? He has been in the world for decades. What does that mean? Is the legend true? What legend? It is rumored that Emperor Shishan is the reincarnation of the Emperor. Damn, the reincarnation of the Emperor, then his evildoers and the things he did are not surprising. Ling Jun, Emperor Shishan, is he really the reincarnation of the Emperor? Jianfeng asked with his eyes wide open. I don't know about this either, the ancestor never said it. If it is true, you Xuanhuan Holy Land are really lucky. What kind of luck? Do you think an emperor can be ranked among our holy lands? Ling Jun said with a wry smile. That's right. Anyway, one less holy land is a good thing for us. He, that's right. On the other side, Xiao Huo had returned to the Tianhuo Holy Land at the fastest speed. What's going on, Holy Lord, why are you back? Is the competition over? How could it be so fast? It's only been a short time. In the past, the competition took at least 4 or 5 days. At this moment, Lin Vucheng, who was practicing, also felt Xiaohuo's aura and appeared in front of Xiaohuo in a flash. Brother Xiao, what happened? I see you. Lin Vucheng asked. Brother Lin, get ready. Our Tianhuo Holy Land is going to have a war. Against whom? Lin Vucheng asked in shock. Purple Forest Holy Land. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 314. What, it's really fake. Of course it's true. Immediately, Xiaohuo told what happened. How unreasonable, Purple Forest Holy Land broke the agreement, damn it. Lin Vucheng pretended to be angry and said, but there was an uncontrollable smile in his eyes. This time, it is estimated that the Heavenly Fire Holy Land will really start to attack the Purple Forest Holy Land, which is in line with his wishes. Okay, Brother Lin, I'm going to report to my ancestor. By the way, I hope you. Don't worry, Brother Xiao, I want to kill everyone in the Purple Forest Holy Land now. Well, that's good, don't forget, your life is still in our hands. Xiaohuo glanced at Lin Vucheng and left directly. Yes, now Lin Vucheng has joined the Sky-Fire Holy Land, but there are conditions, that is, a trace of origin exchange is required. After all, Lin Vucheng is the former Holy Master of the Purple Forest Holy Land, and he is also a quasi-emperor, so he has to be careful. They also all know what kind of character Lin Vucheng is, but after all, he is a quasi-emperor, so don't give it up for free. After seeing Xiaohuo leaving, Lin Vucheng's eyes flashed with a sinister look. Haha, Purple Forest Holy Land, Sky-Fire Holy Land, you are all going to die. Purple Forest Holy Land, Nalan Yan, you just wait to die. On the other side, in the small world, Han Shui had asked the other people from the Purple Forest Holy Land to hunt down the other people from the Sky-Fire Holy Land, and then only Kanglin and the other 3 were left. Senior Sister Han Shui, what's going on with this Emperor Shishan? Kanglin asked softly. He is my little brother now, right, Xiao Tian? Han Shui said with a smile. Surprisingly, there was no displeasure on Emperor Shishan's face. On the contrary, there was a little honor. That's necessary, sister. It's strange, it's really strange. Emperor Shishan is a half-step god king. Let me see what's going on. Xiongda rolled his eyes, walked to Dish Shishan and asked slowly. Well, brother Dish Shishan, do you have any leverage in senior sister Han Shui's hands? You're worrying too much. I really want to be with my eldest sister. Emperor Shishan shook his head and said. No, you are a half-step god king, but your talent is so evil. Xiongda, what do you mean, you look down on me? Han Shui immediately interrupted Xiongda's words. Oh, senior sister Han Shui, look at what you said, how dare I? Xiongda was immediately frightened and said obediently. Okay, I guess this competition is almost over. Keep up your efforts, Emperor Shishan, and I will go out first. Han Shui said slowly. Ah, Han Shui, you, give up. Fan Xingchen said with great confusion. I didn't want to come to participate in the first place. If it weren't for young master, I wouldn't have come. However, it's still a bit of a gain. Han Shui glanced at Dashichan next to her. At this moment, the entire small world continued to tremble, and a true imperial power continued to emanate. Then, an old man slowly appeared in front of everyone. This man was the clone of immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, a great emperor. Great emperor. This is the real emperor. Holy crap, why is there a kind of great emperor in this small world? Immediately, Kanglan and others knelt down and said respectfully. We, the descendants, pay our respects to the emperor. As for Han Shui and Di Shishan, they could tell after just a brief glance that the person in front of them was just a clone of the great emperor. Hello, friends, I've been waiting for a long time. The clone of immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said with a smile. His eyes first fell on Kanglan and the others, with wisps of greed flashing through his eyes. Then he looked at Han Shui and Emperor Shishan. The greedy look in their eyes was even stronger, but he covered it up very well. Of course, these greedy looks were naturally caught by Han Shui and Di Shishan. After all, one of them went first and the other explored before they were alive. If they couldn't catch it, they would be damned. Who are you? Han Shui said lightly. She was not shocked at all because the other party was a great emperor. She actually wanted to see what this clone wanted to do. Anyway, they have Dashichan, let alone the other party is a great emperor, so what if it is the real immortal Emperor Xuanhuan? Dashichan, awesome. I am the clone left behind by immortal Emperor Xuanhuan in this small world. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan's clone said slowly. People outside were extremely shocked when they saw immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, especially Ling Jun and other people from Xuanhuan Holy Land. Holy crap, is this immortal Emperor Xuanhuan? As expected of being supreme, a clone has the realm of an emperor. Terrible. Ancestor. The ancestor actually left a clone in this small world. But Ling Jun always felt that something was wrong. As for what was wrong, he didn't know what was wrong. Anyway, he just felt that the aura of the clone in front of him was weird. Oh, I wonder what you want from us. Han Shui said slowly. It's like this. I have observed that these three little friends possess imperial arts. I wonder if I can let me take a look. Don't worry, I'm just taking a look. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan's clone said with a smile. As for Kanglan and the other three, they didn't know what to say at this moment. It was impossible to give, but they couldn't offend an emperor's clone. Just when Kanglan and the others were anxious, Han Shui said jokingly. Oh, I think you don't want to take a look, but you want to keep it for yourself. Next step, is it time to ask us? No, it should be said that you didn't find the entrance to the palace, so you waited for a long time. This sentence directly shocked the clone of Xuanhuan Immortal Emperor, and then he stopped hiding it and showed an extremely greedy look. I really didn't expect that a little girl like you could spot it at a glance. I even doubt whether you have wisdom and immortal bones. So, you betrayed your true self, right? Han Shui said again. Yes, I've had enough, so I want to replace him. Can you cut off your connection with me? Han Shui tilted her head and said. Ha 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 ha, yes, I did cut off just now. How did you see it? It seems that you are not simple. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said with a smile. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 315. Okay, stop talking. You are not the clone of Emperor Xuanhuan, right? You are the outer demon. Han Shui stared at Emperor Xuanhuan and said with a smile. After hearing this, the smile on the face of Emperor Xuanhuan's clone disappeared instantly, replaced by a look of horror. And Kanglan and the people outside the small world were also stunned after hearing this. After all, every creature in the eternal upper realm is extremely sensitive and afraid of the word outer demon, because several tragic battles in the eternal upper realm originated from the outer demon. Outer demon. He is actually an outer demon. What should we do? Our disciples are still in there. Quick, contact our disciples and ask them to crush the teleportation talisman quickly. After a moment, these elders were dumbfounded because they found that they could not contact their disciples. Damn, what the hell is going on? Old Ling, contact your ancestors. Don't worry, the ancestors said that the creature next to Han Shui is not simple, so we don't have to worry. Besides, Our ancestors are on their way back now. Ling Jun said slowly. Are you sure? Why, do you think a supreme being would lie to us? Ling Jun said with a smile. How dare we? On the other side, the outer demon saw this and stared at Han Shui coldly and asked. Who are you? I am your aunt. Forget it, since my identity has been discovered, I can only kill you first. After the outer demon finished speaking, he exuded a violent and murderous aura, and his whole body was constantly changing, showing his original appearance. A demon with a height of thousands of feet and a terrifying demonic aura all over his body directly tore the sky and slowly appeared. This kind of demonic aura is similar to the demons in the fairyland, but it is different, as if it is more pure. The other disciples of the Holy Land who were still fighting with the monsters saw the scene and crushed the teleportation talisman without any hesitation, but they were stunned the next moment because it was ineffective. And those people outside the small world saw the scene and couldn't stop trembling all over, as if they recalled the fear of being dominated by the outer demon in the lower world. In an instant, the whole small world seemed to fall into doomsday, and the sky gradually turned gray. Then, the outer demon stretched out his finger and lightly pointed at Han Shui and others. In an instant, the endless demonic energy turned into a world-destroying wave and rushed directly towards Han Shui and others. Da Shichun, kill him. Han Shui said lightly. Don't worry, no problem. Da Shichun looked at the outer demon in front of him as if he was looking at an ant. This kind of stuff can be annihilated with one move. Compared with adults, it is too much worse. Then, he recalled Li Bai's sword at that time, and his whole body trembled uncontrollably. One day, he must ask Li Bai for advice. Da Shichun punched out carelessly. Boom! In an instant, this wave of destruction was directly dispersed, and at the same time, in the dull eyes of the outer demon was directly killed by a punch. After all, Da Shichun was created by the wandering ancient immortal, and he spent countless efforts. In just a blink of an eye, the originally arrogant outer demon was gone. The sky in the small world also returned to its original appearance. Haha, little trash, you can't even block my punch, and you call yourself an outer demon. It sounds awesome and looks bluffing, but I didn't expect it to be useless. Da Shichun said slowly. At this moment, time seemed to stop. The expressions on countless people's faces were surprisingly consistent, equals. What happened? I can't see it. Am I seeing it right? That creature that looks like a big fool just punched this extraterritorial demon and it was broken. No, how can the extraterritorial demon be so weak? It should be that creature, it's too strong. When Kanglan and the other two saw this scene, they blinked their eyes in confusion. This is too strong. However, before everyone finished speaking, they felt as if they were being pulled by a force. The next moment, all the disciples appeared in the square. Hey, what's going on? How did I get out? Xiongda said puzzledly. I don't know. At this moment, the sky of Suotian Holy Land was torn apart, and an unparalleled aura swept across the entire eternal lower realm area. When Ling Jun and others saw this breath again, they were instantly extremely excited. Ancestor, it's the ancestor who has awakened and returned. Right or wrong, this supreme breath is definitely the ancestor. A moment later, a figure slowly appeared in the torn sky. This person is the Suotian Immortal Emperor, a supreme one. When the Suotian Immortal Emperor descended in front of everyone, he slowly put away his momentum, as if he were immortal. We greet the Suotian Immortal Emperor. We greet the ancestor. Countless people shouted respectfully and in shock. Sorry, my friends, I really didn't expect this matter, and I frightened you. The Suotian Immortal Emperor slowly said to the disciples in the small world. And these disciples hurriedly said. Senior Suotian, you must not do that. You are the immortal emperor. Yes, Senior Xuanhuan, we can't bear it. One by one, the disciples said bitterly with twitching faces. The supreme apology is not something that ordinary people can bear. No need to do that. Since this competition is held in our Xuanhuan Holy Land, I have this responsibility. Don't worry, we will give you some compensation afterward. Xuanhuan Xiandi said, shaking his head. Then, Xuanhuan Xiandi looked at Han Shui, Emperor Shi Tian, and De Shachun beside him, and said with a smile. My friends, can you move over and have a chat? Han Shui and Emperor Shi Tian nodded after hearing this. In an instant, Xuanhuan Xiandi waved his hand, and the three of them disappeared instantly. After a long silence, Ling Jun cleared his throat and said. Everyone, this competition is over first. Don't worry, just like our ancestors said, we will compensate you afterwards. If everything is fine, please go back first. After that, Ling Jun disappeared directly. And Jianfeng and Yao Yu also left slowly with the disciples of their respective sects. Yan'er, don't forget what you said. Yao Yu said with a smile. Don't worry, I will let you see the young master. Well, then we will leave first. At this moment, in the ancestral land of Xuanhuan Holy Land. I wonder what the immortal emperor wants to talk to us. Han Shui said lightly. And the immortal emperor Xuanhuan did not answer immediately, but just glanced at the two of them, and then said slowly. If my guess is correct, you two should be the reincarnation of the emperor. Hearing this, the two were stunned for a moment. The supreme in front of them could actually guess the identities of the two. Well, you guessed right. Right. Would you please tell me in detail? After hearing this, the two of them were stunned for a moment. They didn't expect that Emperor Xuanhuan would be so direct. This is very rude. Don't worry, I swear by the origin of the great emperor that I will never leak it out. If you are still worried, I can separate two strands of soul as a guarantee. No need to do that, brother, you speak first. Han Shui shook her head and said. Immortal Emperor, you guessed right, I am indeed the great emperor in reverse, and my predecessor is the immortal spirit clan of the heavenly world. I am the Han family of the End Realm. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de La Chang. Chapter 316. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan was a little shocked when he heard what Han Shui and Emperor Shishan said. Although he guessed that both of them were reincarnations of the great emperor, he did not expect that they were not people of all heavens and worlds. Then a flash of light flashed in his eyes. I have no idea what it means. As the saying goes, if you are not of the same race as you, your heart will be different. Even though they are constantly fighting among themselves in all the worlds, after all, they are all living beings in the heavens and all the worlds, and they still stand together on this point. I didn't expect that the two of you are not from all heavens and all realms. I would like to ask, what is the strength of the outer world and the final world? Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan stared at Han Shui and asked slowly. The outer world of the world was generally stronger than your other worlds before, but now it is lonely. Our final realm is a little stronger than all the heavens and realms. Han Shui and the other two said slowly. When Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan heard these two sentences, his eyes immediately flashed with vigilance. One is lonely, the other is stronger than all the worlds. No matter how you look at it, there is a conspiracy, but the attitude of the two makes Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan puzzled. If it is really a conspiracy, shouldn't the two of them try their best to conceal their identities? Two of you, I wonder what the state of your predecessors was. Please be sure to answer me. Hearing these words, Han Shui and De Shishan looked at each other. This old man is really straightforward. Are you sure you want to know? Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said firmly. Okay, in my previous life, I was a pioneer. In my previous life, I was an explorer. As the two people's light words fell into the ears of Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, the expression on the latter's face was stunned for an instant, and his heart was full of disbelief, and he even doubted whether he had heard it wrong. Go first, explore, and stand at the top of all the worlds. Damn it, each one of these is more terrifying than the other. Immediately, Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan struggled to suppress his inner emotions and said tremblingly. You too, came to our heavens and worlds, after all. Pook. Finally, Han Shui couldn't help laughing. No wonder Emperor Xuanhuan kept asking these questions. He was afraid that they might have a conspiracy. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, don't worry, the two of us don't have any thoughts about the world. The reason why I appear here is entirely a coincidence. Besides, you can see through our two realms and what kind of waves we can cause. Han Shui said with a smile. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, on the other hand, looked suspicious. Who knows what means the forerunners and explorers had? Even though they were not god kings yet, Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan did not dare to relax at all. The worst thing about these big guys is that they are more scheming than the last. If he really believed it, he would be the biggest fool. There must be some conspiracy. After seeing the flashing look in Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan's eyes, Han Shui said impatiently. I asked you, old man, why do you have so many doubts? If we really had a conspiracy, why did we expose our identities? The devil knows what you are thinking. One of you goes first and the other explores, and I am just a little supreme. I can't see through your thoughts. Although Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan was nervous, he still said it bravely. You old man, you are so stubborn. Han Shui said angrily, her whole body exuding aura. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan immediately became extremely alert, quickly backed away, and said tremblingly. Look, you can't help but take action. Haha, tell me, what's the conspiracy? Also, don't think that you can imprison me and pry a little bit of information out of my mouth. The worst case scenario is that I will just blow myself up. I will be a human being in all heavens and all realms in life, and a ghost in all heavens and all realms in death. Since ancient times, no one has ever died, and he has left his heart to illuminate the world. If God had not given birth to me, I would ask for the Emperor of Heaven. All the heavens would be like a long night. Alas, this sentence does not seem to suit me, so what the heck? Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan had a generous expression on his face, which seemed to say, I am going to self-destruct, and I will not live anymore. This scene directly caused Han Shui, Emperor Shishan, and Da Shichun who had been watching the show to panic. This old man must not have any paranoia about being persecuted. After seeing that Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan seemed to be really about to self-destruct, Han Shui hurriedly said. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, calm down, please calm down. We really don't have any conspiracy, you believe us. No need to blow yourself up. Yes, we are all peace-loving creatures. Emperor Shishan also echoed from the side. He really didn't expect that this little old man would be so irritable and would blow himself up if he disagreed with him. Who could withstand this? You creatures are becoming more and more evil-minded, and you want to trick me. Tell me, are you using Sun Tzu's art of war tactics? Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said with a sneer. The art of war. Old man, do you know what your grandson's first plan is? Da Shichun on the side asked doubtfully. As a person from all over the world, how could I not know that the first plan is to hide the truth from the sky? Hiss, you're trying to hide it from the sky. It turns out that's the case. You guys are really evil. You want to use poor acting skills to deceive me and cover up your conspiracy. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said with a gleam of light in his eyes. Da Shichun, Why are you meddling in this? This is totally unexplainable. I'm just curious. You caused it, you solve it? Han Shui said angrily. And Da Shichun scratched his head, walked to the front of Emperor Suo Tian, and said pleadingly. Brother, you really misunderstood us. We really don't have any conspiracy against the heavens and the worlds. He, a self-torture trick. Suo Tianxiandi sneered, his wise eyes seemed to see through everything. What the hell is a self-torture trick? I have a friend, no, an adult, a creature from the heavens and the worlds. He, making something out of nothing. Hiss, why can't I explain it? So, you come with us, we will take you to see it in person. Oh, you know how to lure the tiger away from the mountain. You've learned the art of war well. Su Tianxiandi sneered, not moved at all. Grandson, there is no such thing as the art of war by Sun Tzu. There is only the art of war by Lao Tzu. Listen carefully, the first strategy of the art of war by Lao Tzu is infertility. You know, this is called strangling the source. You big idiot. Da Shichun said angrily. Haha, you have alerted the enemy, so I am furious. Next, do you want to sneak into Chenkang and attack the west in a feint to the east? You. Da Shichun had 4 arms and was constantly waving in the void. How could he run into such an old man who was stubborn and unyielding? Haha, I am anxious. I am so anxious. Okay, since you said you know the adults in the heavens and the worlds, come on, tell me, who is the adult you know? Tell me his name. Don't hesitate. Suo Tianxiandi said with a smile, as if everything was under control. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 317. This. Han Shui was stunned at first, and suddenly realized that she didn't seem to know the young master's name until now. She only knew that his surname was Li. Haha, I must have seen through it. You really have a conspiracy. Immortal Emperor Su Tian said with great wisdom. Da Shachun, do you know the young master's full name? Then Han Shui asked hurriedly. I know. Da Shichun nodded and said affirmatively. When Han Shui and Da Shishan heard Das Hashun's answer, they were obviously dumbfounded. You damn well know why you didn't say it earlier. Then tell me quickly. Oh. Listen up, old man, what is our name? It's over, eldest sister, I was so angry with this old man just now, so excited, I forgot about it. Da Shichun said with an innocent look. You, have a pig brain. Tired, destroy it? Han Shui said indifferently. He had already taken it lightly. It was enough to meet such a pig teammate. There was also the Suotian immortal emperor with only one muscle. And Emperor Shishan also looked at Da Shichun with a retarded expression. He didn't understand why the boss of the rune world gave Da Shichun power, but he missed his brain. Immortal Emperor Suotian thought that Han Shui was about to launch a move, and instantly roared and said. You're dreaming. After saying that, Immortal Emperor Suotian was ready to self-destruct. Damn it, old man, are you serious? I told you, I forgot, can't you just give me some time to think about it? Da Shichun said hurriedly. Phew. At this moment, a laughter that seemed to be uncontrollable came from the void. At this moment, Immortal Emperor Suotian's aura was like a balloon leaking out. Immortal Emperor Su Tian felt that he was controlled by a powerful force and gave up on self-destruction. Someone. I knew you had colleagues. At this moment, Li Bai's figure slowly appeared opposite everyone. Master. Ah, sir, you're finally here. This old man is crazy. He always says we have a conspiracy. After Han Shui saw Li Bai, she cried and said, God knows, in this short period of time, how much grievance she has suffered, she can't explain it clearly, and she won't listen to reason. After immortal Emperor Xuanhuan saw Li Bai, he clenched his teeth and trembled. After all, he could stop a supreme being from self-destructing at will. His state was so terrifying. "Who are you?" After Dashichun saw Li Bai, he said respectfully. "Sir, I'm sorry, I really forgot your name just now." "Okay, let me tell you." Li Bai waved his hand and looked at immortal Emperor Xuanhuan and said, "Xuanhuan, you don't remember me after such a long time." "Huh? Who are you? Why should I remember you? What kind of onion are you?" Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said hurriedly. "Damn it, old man, so brave. Old man, you are so fierce. You are such a humming reckless man." Han Shui and the other three said in surprise. "Why, did you forget who gave you the Xuanhuan scripture?" After finishing speaking, Li Bai's appearance kept changing. After immortal Emperor Xuanhuan heard these words and Li Bai's changed face, a picture flashed through his mind, and his expression changed drastically. Then, with red eyes, he said, You are Lord White." "Ah, I remembered, isn't your name exactly, Li Bai?" Dashichun on the side seemed to be connected to the server and said loudly. "Yes, it seems that you still remember me," Li Bai said with a smile. "Junior, Xuanhuan, I have met the Lord in White." Immediately, immortal Emperor Xuanhuan knelt directly on the ground. He recalled that rainy night many years ago. He was still in the mortal world. Due to his dull aptitude, he could never practice. He was expelled from the section. He was also beaten up by his senior brothers and thrown into the mountains. When he was dying, a white-clothed man appeared. The immortal young man came to him and said softly, "Do you want to become an emperor?" At that time, immortal Emperor Xuanhuan didn't know what the concept of emperor was, but he just knew that he might be able to practice first. Then, he said every word with all his strength. "Sir, I think." "Very good." Then, the young man in white waved his hand, and his injuries healed in an instant, and a skill appeared in his mind, which was Suo Tianzheng. Not only that, he was also left with a space bracelet filled with mountains of cultivation elixirs. Just as Li Bai was about to leave, young Suo Tian asked, "Immortal, what's your name?" "Just call me Bai Yi." Later, he changed his name and surname, practiced in that mountain range for decades, until he reached the point where the mortal realm and heaven could not bear the saint, destroyed the original sect, and then ascended to the eternal lower realm. In this way, relying on Xuanhuan Sutra, Xuanhuan Immortal Emperor broke through to the Great Emperor step by step and founded Xuanhuan Holy Land. However, since then, he has never seen Li Bai again. At this moment, Immortal Emperor Suo Tian knelt in front of Li Bai and said with runny nose and tears, "Sir, Suo Tian finally sees you again. Sir, I have lived up to what you gave me back then. Okay, it's all supreme. Why are you crying? Get up quickly." Li Bai said slowly. Hearing this, Emperor Suo Tian immediately stood up and stood in front of Li Bai obediently. "They are all my people, don't worry, they will not have any conspiracy against the heavens and the worlds." "Yes, sir, I know." Then, Emperor Suo Tian apologized to the three people. "Everyone, I'm sorry, I was too sensitive just now." "It's okay, I can understand." After a greeting, Emperor Suo Tian immediately asked, "Sir, so, you really destroyed the outer domain?" "Well, they don't listen, there is no way, I can only destroy them." Li Bai said lightly. "So that's it, I heard about the war in the fairyland before. I heard, Zhu Tian is about to return." Emperor Suo Tian asked slowly. "Well, it should be soon, Xiaoju Seal can't hold for long. By the way, have you taken the last step of your Suo Tian Sutra?" Li Bai looked at Emperor Suo Tian and asked slowly. "Sir, to be honest, I didn't take the last step of the Xuanhuan Sutra." I don't know why. Every time I want to take that step, I find that there seems to be nothing in front of me, leaving me with no support. I don't know why. The Xuanhuan immortal emperor said bitterly. In fact, according to the time, he could have taken the last step long ago. And Li Bai only thought about it for a while and realized that there was a problem. Xuanhuan Sutra, as the name suggests, is to ask for the sky, to ask for the way of heaven. This last step is to ask for the way of heaven. But there is no way of heaven in the eternal upper realm. Only the spirit race. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 318. Following Li Bai's words, Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan suddenly understood. It turns out that Xuanhuan, as the name suggests, doesn't mean to ask for things from heaven in the end. And the eternal upper realm is the most special realm among all the worlds. There is no way of heaven. Without the way of heaven, how could Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan take the last step? Is it possible that he wants to ask for it from the Lingling clan and not give him one? If you have a big mouth, that's good. Yes, such a simple truth, why didn't I think of it before? It's true, the more you practice, the more confused you become. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan slapped his forehead and said angrily. Then, he felt at a loss. There is no way of heaven in the upper world for eternity, so how can he take this last step? He is a creature from the eternal upper world, and it is impossible for him to go to other worlds. Moreover, it is impossible for the heavens of other worlds to accept him. Then, sir, is it impossible for me to take this last step? Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan looked at Li Bai and asked slowly. That's not the case, the heavenly way of the eternal upper world will eventually return. You should wait during this period. Li Bai said slowly. Old man, since the young master has said so, you might as well just wait for a while. Han Shui echoed from the side. It's all up to you, adults. By the way, Xuanhuan, how did you get that small world? Li Bai asked slowly. This, sir, to be honest, I got this little world accidentally in a forbidden area. It's just that I can't see through this small world, and after I explored it, I didn't find anything. In the end, I simply caught some monsters and kept them in captivity. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said truthfully. In this case, you must take good care of this little world, you know. Li Bai said seriously. Don't worry, sir, I will do it. Well, in that case, I'll leave first. Sir, in such a hurry, I still want to. I have a lot of things going on now, and I don't have much time. In that case, I respectfully send you off. After finishing speaking, Li Bai left the place without stopping for a moment. Okay, old man, in that case, let's leave first. Brother, just stay in Xuanhuan Holy Land for now. If you have something to do, just come to the Purple Forest Holy Land. Okay, sister. After Han Shui finished speaking, she ignored Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan. Han Shui took Dashichan and left the palace directly. Senior, can you tell me in detail about the affairs of the outer world? Immediately, Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan looked at Emperor Shishan and said. Well, yes, these are no secrets. Afterwards, Emperor Shishan began to talk in detail about his own world with Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan. At this moment, in a small world, Li Bai's figure slowly appeared. Master, you are back. When Goza saw Li Bai appear, he hurriedly said. How's it going? Does it feel good to break through the great emperor? Li Bai glanced at Goza and said. During this period of time, Goza has successfully broken through to the realm of the great emperor. Of course, it is not in the small world of darkness, but in a place in the lower realm. Hey, sir, don't tell me, the feeling of becoming an emperor is so exciting. If it weren't for my second uncle's bloodline, my bloodline wouldn't have been able to directly return to my ancestors and turn into the original nine-headed lion bloodline. Urgoza said excitedly, and there was uncontrollable excitement on the dog's face. After a moment, Yanning also felt Li Bai's aura and appeared directly in front of Li Bai. "Grown-ups," Yanning said respectfully. "Has there been any movement among the Eldar recently?" Li Bai asked slowly. "Sir, it really does exist, and it is very important," Yanning said excitedly. "Oh, tell me." "Sir, you discovered a great emperor's cemetery in a forbidden place in the eternal upper world." "The great emperor's cemetery? Exactly what era is this cemetery?" When Li Bai heard the news, he immediately became interested. "It seems to be the great emperor's cemetery left behind by the first battle between the eternal upper realm and the demons from outside the realm before the Age of Chaos, at the end of Taishu. The extraterrestrial demons at that time were extremely powerful, and they were not as weak as they are now. Go on." "This cemetery was obtained by the Spirit Clan unintentionally. What surprises me is that the Spirit Clan did not explore it alone, but instead gathered the famous forces in the upper world throughout the ages and asked them to select the best ones. Disciple, let's explore together with the genius of the Spirit Clan." "Sir, do you know who the genius sent by the spiritual clan this time is?" Ling Biao pretended to be mysterious and said with a smile. "You're being too pretentious, tell me now." Li Bai said with a smile. "Hey, the Spirit Clan sent out this time are Spirit Sons and Spirit Girls, and the strength of these two Spirit Sons and Spirit Girls is among the best among all the Spirit Sons and Spirit Girls." Ling Biao said with a smile. "Interesting, it makes me extremely curious. By the way, do you know where the location is?" Li Bai asked slowly. "I don't know about this. Anyway, everything is guarded by the spirit race, and this ancient cemetery is extremely special." "What special method?" "If you are not a native creature of the eternal upper realm, you can't enter at all." This is what an explorer of the Spirit Clan said. Ling Mei naturally guessed Li Bai's thoughts and reminded him. "Original law. I didn't expect that there would be a fork in the road here. It seems that the result of this experiment may surprise me." Li Bai thought of this law at the first time. There are not many conditions in the origin realm that can restrict Li Bai, and the original law is one of them. "However, young master, we can join these assembled forces, and then—" "Tell me, that force, you should have already inquired about it." Li Bai said lightly. "Sure enough, I can't hide it from you, young master. The force I chose is the Xianjian Tiangong. It is the top existence in the entire Wangu upper realm, second only to the Dijun clan. The Xianjian Tiangong has 7 emperors, and there have been 1 explorer and 3 pioneers in the sect, and this explorer seems to be still alive. It can be said that the Xianjian Tiangong is the dream place for countless sword cultivators. Of course, it is not only about swordsmanship. As long as it is a demon genius, they will not refuse anyone. And, soon, it will be the day for the Xianjian Tiangong to accept disciples." Ling Mei said slowly. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 319. One sect of 7 emperors is indeed good and can be called an eternal force. Putting these kinds of forces in the immortal realm, they are overlord-level existences. Li Bai said lightly. It has to be said that the strength of the eternal upper realm is really much stronger than that of the immortal realm. Of course, the biggest reason is that the eternal upper realm is on the periphery of all heavens and worlds. Unlike the immortal realm, it is always under attack. Another point is that the immortal realm is too young. After all, it was created by Xiaju. Although both regions were born in the Taishu era, One is the starting point and the other is at the end. Naturally they are incomparable. My lord, what do you think? Yan Ning asked cautiously. Well, sure, when is the day when the immortal sword heavenly palace accepts disciples? Just tomorrow. Okay, wait for me. After finishing speaking, Li Bai directly separated a ray of clones and headed to the Purple Forest Holy Land. At this moment, in the main hall of the Purple Forest Holy Land, Han Shui, Kang Lan, Nalan Yan and others have gathered here, because they all received the message from Li Bai. A moment later, Li Bai's clone appeared in front of everyone. Grown-ups. Well, during this period, I will not stay here. If you have any difficulties, just ask Dashichan to solve them. There is no one in the lower realm who can threaten Dashichan. Li Bai said slowly. Ah, master, do you want to leave? Kanglan said reluctantly. Well, you have been away for a while. You three have a good time practicing. You know, don't live up to the imperial skills I gave you. Well, sir, don't worry, we will definitely work harder. By the way, Han Shui, these two groups of creation origins will be given to you, and the other one will be given to Emperor Shishan. After finishing speaking, Li Bai gave Han Shui the origin of creation of the two groups. Sir, this. At this moment, Han Shui looked at the origin in her hand with a horrified expression and could no longer speak. After all, she was a pioneer, so she naturally understood what the origin of creation was. This was one of the necessary things for explorers to break through. Immediately, Li Bai handed Nalanyan another space bracelet and said in her mind. Xiaoyan, your wisdom and immortal bones must not be forgotten. It must be the first priority in cultivation. Yes, sir, Yanner can do it. By the way, after you are promoted to Quasi-Emperor, you can fuse the two immortal bones in the bracelet. These two immortal bones belong to Emperor Jun Haoshan. Don't let it down. Yes, sir. After hearing this, Nalanyan's beautiful eyes did not flicker, as if she wanted to imprint Li Bai's face in her mind, but this meant that her original promise to Ling Jun and others would be broken. By the way, you can freely use the mythical imperial arts given to you, and don't pay attention to me. I think you have a good relationship with the holy masters of those holy places. At this point, Li Bai's meaning is very clear. Wow, thank you sir. Later, Li Bai explained some things, especially the extraterritorial demon in Lin Vuchang's body. Okay, everyone, I hope I can see you differently when I come back. After saying that, Li Bai's clone disappeared directly. To be honest, the time he stayed in the eternal lower realm was already long enough. After all, he was just a passerby. Nalan Yan congratulates you, master. Woo, congratulations, young master. Congratulations, sir. The next day, Li Bai, Ling Biao and Gozi have entered the upper realm. It can be said that the area of the upper realm is many times larger than that of the lower realm. There are mountains and mountains, floating islands dotted in the sky, divine light flowing, fairy spirits everywhere, and strange phenomena can be seen everywhere. Not only that, some terrifying strange beasts also emerge in endlessly, such as the 4 divine beasts in the 4 holy arts of the Purple Forest Holy Land. Holy shit, the spiritual energy here is so strong. In comparison, the lower world is simply a place where birds don't shit. Urgoza sniffed the scent of the upper world greedily and said in surprise. Haha, of course, after all, this is the upper realm of eternity, where countless top forces are stationed. Naturally, it cannot be compared to the lower realm. Lingye glanced at Goza with disgust and said. All right, it's almost time, hurry up and head to the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. Okay, sir. Yes, master. Then, the 3 of them turned into a stream of light and flew to the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace. At this moment, in the central area of the upper world, Fairy Sword stayed. The central area is divided into 13 states. Each state is the base of the top forces in the upper world, and there are countless affiliated forces in its states. Within the immortal sword state, countless sacred mountains are shaped like swords, rising into the sky. Immortal mist is lingering, and various flying beasts are constantly flashing in the clouds. Their auras are also extremely terrifying, and terrifying sword rays can be seen streaking towards the sky at any time. This is where the immortal sword heavenly palace is stationed. The mountain ranges with a radius of hundreds of millions of miles belong to the immortal sword heavenly palace. It can be seen that the territory is vast. Even the 5 holy places in the lower realm combined are only 100,000th of the area of the immortal sword heavenly palace. It can be said that Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace is a small independent world. At this moment, outside the gate of the immortal Sword Tiangong Palace, countless creatures have gathered, and every creature's expression is extremely excited, because this is the day when the immortal Sword Tiangong Palace accepts disciples. Once selected, it can be said that one can reach the sky in one step. Among these creatures, there are many evil disciples of the Emperor clan, and even more, some come from other states, all with the same purpose, to join the Fairy Sword Palace. God bless, we must be selected. Haha, I guess we have no chance. After all, there are only 1,000 places in the Fairy Sword Palace this time, and there are hundreds of millions of creatures now. The probability of us being selected is very small. Who cares? Even if we can't be selected, it's good to gain some experience. Amidst the countless noisy discussions, outside the gate of the Fairy Sword Palace, a stream of fairy light flashed, and then hundreds of people from the Fairy Sword Palace slowly appeared. Their strengths were different. The most powerful were the quasi-emperors who led them. They were the elders of this assessment. Afterwards, a quasi-emperor elder slowly spoke. Everyone, be quiet. The voice was magnificent, like a bell ringing on the avenue, shaking the sky. In an instant, the originally noisy crowd was instantly silent. Next, let me tell you the rules. The rules are very simple. The first rule is that the realm of the disciples we recruit this time must be above the saints. As soon as the words came out, countless creatures wailed. You know, this rule directly excluded 2/3 of the creatures. The second rule is that you must master 2 superior origin paths. Once again, 2/3 of the creatures were excluded. You know, superior origin paths are precious to ordinary people. It is a great blessing to get one in this realm above the saints and below the gods, let alone 2. The third rule is that you must have a physique above the king level. This time, only tens of thousands of creatures were left out of billions of creatures. Okay, the rules have been made clear. Please follow us into the Fairy Sword Palace if you have reached the rules. After that, the elders disappeared directly, leaving only a few hundred outer disciples to guide. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 320. Immediately, a large number of people entered the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. Of course, there are also some creatures who try to fish in troubled waters and enter the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace. However, as soon as one foot steps into the territory of the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace, it is directly blown away by a force. These people are really out of their minds, trying to fish in troubled waters. This is the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace, a force of the 7 emperors. Well, it seems that we have to wait for the next time the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace accepts disciples. I hope the threshold can be lowered by then. Oh, I guess we have no hope of joining the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace in this life. At this moment, these tens of thousands of disciples who comply with the rules have followed the guide and arrived at the foot of an extremely huge mountain. At this moment, countless disciples from the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace have gathered outside the mountain peak. However, what is surprising is that many of these disciples are of low status and have not reached the realm of saints. But although the realm of these disciples is not very good, their talents are very good. They cannot be called monsters, but they are much stronger than ordinary people. These are the elders of the immortal sword heavenly palace, disciples brought back from other areas. After all, there are tens of thousands of them. Disciples are all creatures who grew up in the upper world, so the threshold is naturally very high. But that's not the case for those creatures in the lower world. Hey, Master, don't tell me, this place is really good, it is worthy of being a force of the 7 emperors. If I had been practicing here, I would have become the great emperor long ago even without my second uncle's bloodline. At this moment, Urgozi has transformed into a human form. Indeed, although the immortal sword heavenly palace is not as good as the spirit clan and the Daijun clan, the gap is not too big. It can be called one of the most pinnacle forces in the upper world for all eternity. Not only that, the immortal sword heavenly palace has remained neutral for countless epochs. Status. It does not take the initiative to invade or launch an invasion, and it has been guarding the upper realm for eternity. Therefore, in the hearts of countless living beings, the prestige of the immortal sword heavenly palace is even higher than that of the spiritual clan. Ling Biao glanced around the immortal sword heavenly palace and said slowly. However, Li Bai's eyes always fell on the sacred mountain in front of him. What's wrong, sir? Ling Ye asked doubtfully. That mountain has many sword marks carved on the top, and there are countless sword intentions. Li Bai said slowly. Oh, young master, the name of the mountain you are talking about is Fairy Sword Mountain. These sword marks were all carved by the evil geniuses of the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace. As for the 7 sword marks on the top, they are naturally the 7 great emperors of the Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace. After becoming the emperor, the purpose of carving it casually is for future generations to observe and learn. Of course, there are many mountains like this in the immortal sword heavenly palace. After all, not all disciples are sword cultivators. However, only the immortal sword mountain is the most important and special. I have heard that as long as you can carve traces of your own swordsmanship on the immortal sword mountain, you can receive the swordsmanship blessing of the immortal sword heavenly palace. The blessing of an explorer even makes me excited. Ling Biao slowly explained to Li Bai. In my opinion, the sword intent of these 7 great emperors is mediocre and not perfect, but in the entire world, it is considered to be among the best. Li Bai said lightly. Sir, I know you are awesome, but you are too Versailles, isn't it? The explorer's swordsmanship is still lackluster. Ling Biao rolled his eyes and said. Li Bai just smiled and said nothing. If one day the spirit can reach that place, he will know how terrifying the real sword is. It can destroy the origin world with one sword. At this time, the words of Li Bai and the 2 people were also heard by the creatures on the side, and they couldn't help but sneer. Ha ha ha, brother, may I ask how terrifying your swordsmanship is? How can you, a holy venerable, say such things so brazenly? The person who spoke was a swordsman genius from the Wanjian section at this moment. This disciple had endless contempt for Li Bai. He even said that the swordsmanship of the 7 emperors was lackluster. I don't know where he got the courage. Naturally, Li Bai would not answer such an ant's words, and did not even look at him. When the swordsman genius saw Li Bai, he didn't say anything, nor did he continue to talk. He just stayed away from Li Bai and others, treating them as arrogant creatures who sit in a well and look at the sky. By the way, Ling Biao, who is the founder of Fairy Sword Tiangong? Is he the explorer? Li Bai asked slowly. Li Bai didn't know much about the eternal upper realm. The first point was that the eternal upper realm was too remote. Secondly, for countless previous epochs, his energy had been focused on the immortal realm and the outer realm. A place like the ancient clan. Young master, I am not this explorer. I only know that he is called the Sword Immortal, and when he became emperor, he was even on the Eternal Emperor list. Sword Immortal, he has been on the Eternal Emperor ranking. Yes, he can be called a monster in all the worlds. I would like to get to know this person. Li Bai nodded and said. Sir, give up. This swordsman has fallen for countless epochs. According to legend, he entered the darkness and never appeared again. Ling Biao said slowly from the side. It's fun to step into the darkness. On the other side, the disciples of Xianjian Tiangong are also discussing these tens of thousands of disciples. Tell me, who will be among the 100 inner disciples this time? I don't know, they should all be monsters anyway. Don't forget, the immortal sword state is so big, and there are also monsters from other regions among these people, and there are even a lot of people from the imperial clan. Look, that's not fairy sword state, Wu Shui, the emperor daughter of the Wu family, a monster in the realm of the Holy Lord. I didn't expect that she would also join our fairy sword heavenly palace. Also, Qin Miao Miao, the saint of Qin Palace, Tisk Tisk, is really as holy as a white lotus. Damn, there are also the emperor's son and the emperor's daughter of the Qin family. They are packed and delivered here. Really, you don't know unless you look at it. It's really shocking if you look carefully. Among these creatures, there are at least 100 disciples from the big clans. Among these hundreds, most of them are monsters from the imperial clan. There is no way, this is the prestige of the fairy sword heavenly palace. At this moment, the previous quasi-emperor elder appeared at the foot of the sacred mountain and said to tens of thousands of creatures. Everyone, if you can pass the conditions I mentioned before, you must all be outstanding, but unfortunately, the number of places we recruit this time is limited, and it is impossible to include all of you. Now, please divide yourself according to your strength. As the words fell, tens of thousands of disciples began to divide them in an orderly manner. Most of these tens of thousands of disciples are saints, but only a few hundred people have reached the realm of the Holy Lord. This shows how evil it is to reach the Holy Lord at this age. You must know that this is the eternal upper world, and it is still in the central area. Fairy Sword State. When the Fairy Sword Tiangong recruited disciples, the first piece of news it released was that the age of Zhengu must be under 30 years old, otherwise they will not be accepted. This is also the reason why there are only a few hundred saints. It is clear at a glance which monster is stronger and which is weaker between a monster who reached the realm of saints at the age of 20 and a saint who is already 100 years old. What Xianjian Tiangong wants is plasticity. The younger you are, the stronger your plasticity is, and the longer the road ahead. As for forging bones, it is simply impossible, no one has the guts.